Thank you very much, Scott, and welcome to The Exchange. I'm Kelly Evans, and right now, out in Cupertino, California, Apple's big annual product launch event is just getting started. One of our guests calls it the most high-stakes event for the company, believe it or not, in years. And because of Apple's size, that makes this a high-stakes event for the market as a whole. Shares are down 1.4%, around session lows right now, 176 per share. And we'll have a front-row seat to all the action. Steve Kovac is live in Cupertino and will bring us all the major headlines this hour as we get them. We'll also get instant reaction and analysis from tech investor Paul Meeks and Boca Capital Partners Kim Forrest. Welcome to all of you. And Steve, kick things off for us. The iPhone 50. Why do they name the event Wanderlust, by the way?
That I don't know, Kelly, but it is just now kicking off, so maybe we'll get a hint there as to why they're calling it the Wanderlust event. But it is the iPhone event, of course, every September. We're here in Cupertino for that. You see behind me the Steve Jobs Theater. I just heard a bunch of cheers and clapping. I think Tim Cook just took the stage, and they hit play on that theater, on the video that they have that will show the keynote presentation with all the iPhones. Here's what we're expecting, Kelly. 4 new models, 2 base models, and then the 2 Pro models where Apple typically puts the most advanced features in there for the cameras, processors, and so forth. And then everyone's going to be talking about this. We've been talking about it last week even, that new plug at the bottom, changing from that Lightning connector that you're so used to using for the last decade or more. That's changing over to a new standard version of USB called USB-C. That means if you have an Android buddy and you want to borrow their charger, you'll be able to do that finally. And then, look, pricing is another big mystery here. Analysts have been chattering for the last couple of weeks that they think the Pro line is going to get a $100 price increase. Kelly, that means the iPhone Pro would start at $1,100.
So we have that, and as I understand it, Steve, there might be a lot of razzle-dazzle around the cameras because a lot of consumers can't differentiate these products from one another. So maybe the camera with the super cool lens might help draw them in a little bit. I also think it's interesting to look back at just what's happening with smartphone sales every year. I mean, I don't know if Apple's are we talking about a market that's matured so much that sales are declining, so price hikes are their only option to keep that top line growing?
Yeah, and that is what investors are looking for. We saw Apple shares punished just last month when I was out here when they reported their third quarter earnings. We're in the fiscal fourth quarter now. Apple said, look, sales are going to be down again for the fourth quarter in a row. That means a full fiscal year of down sales. And Tim Cook told me himself, smartphone demand has fallen, especially in those most lucrative markets like the U.S., maybe China, Western Europe, Japan, and so forth. So if they do raise prices on this phone, they're going to have to really make a big sales pitch as to why it's worth that higher price point, Kelly.
Yeah, exactly. Steve, we'll check back in with you shortly as the event gets in full swing.